David Seymour and Karen Chhour. New Zealand's Dark Secrets. New Zealand Act Party. Repealing Section 7A of the Oranga Tamariki Act 1989. The Oranga Tamariki Act 1989 or Children's and Young People's Wellbeing Act 1989 is an act of the New Zealand Parliament that was passed in 1989. The Act's main purpose is to promote the well-being of children, young persons and their families, and family groups. Dark Secrets. New Zealand has an appalling record when it comes to Maori children. Bashings, cruelty, violence, murder, mental trauma, through to higher rates of suicide. But there's another dark secret that's rarely discussed in Parliament, but common knowledge on the street. Which is a major reason why there's such an objection from the Tea Party Maori Party to repealing Section 7A of the Oranga Tamariki Act 1989. But first, please listen to what these two amazing MPs, Karen Chhour and David Seymour, of the New Zealand Act Party, have to say about Maori children and Section 7A.
There's been circumstances where a child who was in a dangerous, abused situation was taken out by the state authority, put in another home where they would be safe, told that that was their quote-unquote forever home, and then taken out of that home and put back where they started. Why on earth would you do that? That's crazy.
Many children in this country are being treated like a piece of furniture that gets passed around from place to place until they're broken beyond repair, with no care for their rights or needs, and this needs to stop. It is a disgrace that my role even needs to exist in New Zealand. A child does not choose to live in fear or be harmed and hurt. Government cannot control what happens to a young person before coming to the attention of Oranga Tamariki, but they sure as hell can control what happens after. Abuse and neglect does not discriminate, and when a child cries out for help, and we have a system that sees them as an identity first and a child second, we have a real problem.
Since coming here to Parliament, I've been seeing and hearing the stories of people who have been on the receiving end of Section 7AA of the Oranga Tamariki Act. Before coming to Parliament, I thought it was bad. Once in Parliament, I came to understand that it was a lot worse than I could have even imagined. We need to be clear. There have been benefits from Section 7AA, and we have built some excellent relationships with iwis and stakeholders. This will not change. I have insisted that we have a fully accessible and comprehensive submission process, because I think consultation is the most important part of this process. Let's have a real conversation and make sure that the best interests and the safety of our young people come first with all our decision making with our young people.
I have heard a lot about treaty obligations, rights of iwi, Māori rights and racism, but where is this the same level of outrage when a Māori child takes their last breath in this world because the people who are supposed to love them and care for them do not? It's names like baby Ngāreo or baby Rutamini, Malachi, Maya, Carla, Leanne, and most recently, to add to our list of shame, Falute Vaila. Think of the Kahu twins, Nia Glassy, and many more. Those are just some of the names, many names that will never be spoken again, as they are the invisible shame of our nation. I never want to see another child torn from a loving home for life because the caregivers are the wrong race. And I never want to see another traumatised child sent back to their abusers because they are the right race. That is what Section 7AA has contributed to, and I am proud to repeal it.
There's a hierarchy of needs for any child, and I would put physical safety right at the top. If you take individuals and do what's best for them on a case-by-case basis, that is the humane way to treat people. The way that Te Pāti Māori, or the Māori Party, view the world is that only one thing matters, and what we used to call that is racism. I think what's so astonishing is how little kickback they get to the views they express. The previous government said that Oranga Tamariki had to follow the Treaty of Waitangi, and their interpretation of the treaty was that it was more important for a child to be with people of their own ethnic background than physically safe, nurtured and loved. And these were called reverse uplifts. They happened, they're a total disgrace, and we're removing the part of the legislation that justified them.
But never mentioned in Parliament is another dark secret, and a major reason why there's such an objection to repealing Section 7AA by the Tea Party Maori Party. In addition to all of the horrific New Zealand family violence and murder statistics, certain parents consider their children to be nothing more than commodities. They give birth willy-nilly, popping babies out at every opportunity, for the sole purpose of generating an income from the government called the Domestic Purposes Benefit and Child Support Payments. Repealing Section 7AA of the Oranga Tamariki Act 1989 could well stop this cash flow for some families, because many of these bad parents are unemployed, on the dole, receiving extra money for each child they produce. It's a good business for some. Repealing Section 7AA is a great idea for children in New Zealand. Thank you Chhour and David Seymour, Geraint, on behalf of WhangareiTim.